Hey everybody, you're looking at a lizard. I'm going to UV map this lizard. It's the thing that's quite different about this lizard versus the other stuff we've had a look at UV mapping is it's sort of an organic shape. It's got a lot of sort of curved lines and things. So there are sort of different workflows to UV mapping this sort of thing. Um, Everyone works a little bit differently. I'm going to show you the way I would do it. Um, as you can see, it's symmetrical. I just modeled it before. I guess I could upload the lizard file if you want to have a go at this. Um, there's nothing wrong with a lizard model between friends, I don't think. The first thing I'm going to do is pick all these, pick the limbs, right? Because I've decided that I want these to be, symmetrical. Okay, I want them to use the same UV space. The left arm and the right arm I can texture as if they're one thing. That's what that means. I'm gonna texture it as if, it's just gonna mirror. So I'm picking all those and I'm gonna detach them. Okay. This isn't the way everyone does it, but it will work. So then I'm gonna delete one side of those because I just want to UV map these and then flip them over when I'm done. So these are going to be the harder part, so I might do those second. This one, I'll do the simpler one first. So we'll just UV map the torso. This is going to be a really fast job, surprisingly. We want to drop a unwrap UVW modifier on that guy. Okay. Open our UV editor. The default UVs, of course, are completely unusable. I'm going to show you something called Pelt mapping, which is pretty cool. It makes this kind of stuff really easy. I'm going to turn off the grid real quick. Okay, so to Pelt map, what it'll do is we can define seams, and it's just going to like unwrap and fold it out based on those seams. It doesn't work very well for sort of squarish objects because it can deform the shapes a lot. I just want to turn off the seam display for map seams, so there's no green there. Okay, so what you got to do first to set up a pelt map, or a peel is what they do call it sometimes. I think there is a peel map tutorial in the course content somewhere. You pick your seams here. I'm going to go point to point seams. You can set them up pretty much however you want, but I'm going to set mine up where the lizard's mouth would be. Okay, for starters, I'm going to draw a seam around that because that to me seems logical. I'm going to go up to here and up to his arm. Okay, so I've hit an open edge there, so I right click to stop point to point seams. If it wasn't clear what was going on with the point to point seams, when the tool's selected you can just draw from one edge to another and it will find a path there. I'm going to go up here again and go stop, right click, and start a new point to point. Then I'm going to go all the way around. Actually, this time I'm going to undo that. I'm going to start this last one here and go, as you can see there's a continuous edge all the way to the point there. So I'm going to go all the way back down the other side. This is kind of like what you do in Roadkill, except it's a lot more user friendly than Roadkill. Please don't use Roadkill, it will break all your stuff and make it a troubleshooting exercise more than a UV mapping exercise. Okay? Just promise me you won't use Roadkill. So I've drawn a seam all the way around to separate the bottom of this lizard guy from the top, right? So I'm done. I'm going to right click to finish that seam. So now in my polygon mode, I'm going to select everything and I'm going to click this pelt map here, which looks like a pelt, like a dead deer or a dead bear or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to go start pelt, and you can see what it's doing here. It just stretches it out. Right now that's not acceptable UV map either. Okay, don't just hit pelt and be done with it, because you can have a look in the checker map. All this is totally stretched and just weird. It's not very evenly mapped out. So to fix that, there's a thing called relax. Okay, if we go to tools, relax, amount can be on whatever. I'd start with polygon edges. Sometimes edge angles is good, but I always go polygon first and then go start relax, It's a bit messy at the moment. Hang on a sec. The tail is folding up a little bit. I'm not totally sure why, but what this relax does, it's the same as using a relax on the geometry itself. It will compare each edge to, or each polygon to the polygon next to it, right? I'm going to turn up the amount so it relaxes harder, basically. It just amplifies the effect, sort of. The tail's being a little bit problematic, which is a bother. I'll see what this will do. If I go, just pick these, you can relax any part of it, right? I'm going to try edge relax on that. Yeah, that did it. That unfolded the bastard. Okay, so now that it's all unfolded nicely, I'm going to go back to polygon and try and get it sort of... see, this is what I was saying. Sometimes when you relax things, it will actually sort of bend it a little bit and make it not perfectly straight and orthogonal. And that's why you don't really want to use relax on mechanical objects much. On things like on organic things with curves, you can get away with it a lot more. What I'm doing now is I'm just manually correcting some of these, cleaning it up so that it's a little bit straighter. Oh, that reminds me. Seeing as the body is unwrapped pretty nicely and pretty symmetrically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the edge select mode. I'm going to pick an edge down the ridgeline of this guy's back, and I'm going to hit this align to edge, okay? And then it will rotate it so that whatever edge you had selected is either vertical or horizontal, like it just orthogonal. That whole island will be orthogonal based on that. Okay, so we've got that part of it unwrapped, okay? So now we want to unwrap the bottom part of him. When we pelted it, it just picked whatever it decided it was going to do as the first part. We don't necessarily need to pelt the bottom of it because there's not much curvature to it. And as you can probably see, the checker map is a lot more consistent and nicely spaced out now that we've done the relax on it. And you can just see from there anyway that it's just going to be easier to texture. We're just going to do a planar map on the bottom of it. Align it to the bottom, I guess. And again, you might want to stretch that out a little bit. And then we're just going to relax that again. You can relax something that hasn't been pelted. That works. Okay, so we can just hit relax. I've just put it on 1 because I just want it to happen faster. So that's all been relaxed out. So we've got the bottom and the top of this lizard sort of unwrapped now. As you can see before, we had, just to demonstrate, the checkers on the bottom were a lot bigger than the checkers on the top, which means the bottom was a lot lower res than the top. If you want to get all these islands, these UV shells, to be the same resolution, sort of, there's a tool for that. It's down, where is it? I don't recognize these icons. I'm used to, yeah, it's rescale elements. You click that, and now they're just the same size texture-wise. That this, like, 1 unit of space on this element is getting the same unit of space on that one. So the bottom and the top will have the same resolution of texture dedicated to it. So that's a weird long UV map, but we'll scale that down into the 1 to 0 or 0 to 1 space. It doesn't have to be packed yet because we haven't unmapped the arms or legs yet. But that's the whole body unwrapped now. Just to have it inspect and make sure nothing's overlapping. If you can go to Tools, select Overlapped Polygons, it will actually select if there are any. Oh, where did it go? Jeez Louise. Hang on a sec. I'll just collapse this so I sort of save what I've got. And unwrap UVW. Open UV editor. Okay, we got our UVs in the screen again. If I go into polygon mode and go select overlap polygons, the back of the tail has a little bit of a... okay, that's because of that. So that's a good way to quickly find errors, sort of, in your UV maps. I can pretty easily change that with just a freeform gizmo. I'm going to flip that around. I don't know why that's gone that way, but that's okay. We can just expand it out. And it will just pretty quickly find that stuff. The UV window is playing up a little bit on my second monitor for whatever reason, but we fixed that, so that's all good. Flatten that down again. We're gonna unwrap this guy's legs now. Okay, so we'll get right into it. We'll go this unwrap UVW modifier, not the other one, not the UVW unwrap thing. I don't know why that's there, it's just a legacy thing. Open the editor, make sure it's on your other monitor. I'm going to start with the front leg, and I'm going to do just the arm first. So to do that, I want to just unwrap the top and then the bottom, okay, of the arm. So I'm going to pick those ones, and then I'm just going to use grow XY selection. So now I've got that entire set sort of thing. There's a lot of ways you can select things. That was just a quick way. I'm going to go just a plain arm map. I'm going to go best align so that it aligned the projection to closest to the average between all those faces I can. So I've got that unwrapped there. I'm going to leave that there for the moment, and we'll refine it later. It's obviously not a good unwrap yet, but same there. And I'm not going all the way to the little wrist thing here, because when I hit grow selection, it goes all the way there. So now we've got the bottom half of that arm. Planar, best align. Now we'll put that over there. Okay, we're going to do the same over on the back leg, or something like it. We might have to do some corrections down here at the heel, because maybe not. Grow. It's pretty much the whole top, down the middle of the seam. Oh man, zoom tool is weird. Best line again. Just drag it over out of the way. So we're done with projecting that. Gonna do the same again, of course, down here. Oh man. Grow. I still got to get used to all these. Everything's an icon in Max 2014. It used to be like text buttons. I'm just best lining that boy as well. Drag it over there. Okay, so now we can grab all of these and just go relax on them. You don't have to have pelted something for it to be relaxable. So polygon, amount 1, they're all pretty perfectly done now. It's, you know, the unwrapping is pretty consistent. Alright, so we'll do the feet and the claws now. This bit's going to be a little bit more fiddly. What I'll start by doing is I'll turn on the backface ignore is on, so I'm going to grab just like the whole top half of this hand, okay, or this foot, seeing as it's a lizard. I'm going to get rid of anything that's managed to pick up that's on the bottom of the hand, foot. I'm going to get the fingertips as well. And what I'm doing by making this selection is basically picking what I want the this UV island to look like, or this UV element. I'll get this as well. So that's pretty cool. I want that entire thing to be one surface on the UV map. That's why I'm selecting it, right? And we don't have to always make seams for pelts. I can just pelt this selection, and because it's got open edges on it, it will work. Okay, so if I go pelt on that, then go start pelt, what it's done is it's actually made an untexturable thing by stretching it to oblivion. This is each finger has gone into like a star pattern, so we'll just relax that guy. Oh, sorry. Polygon edges, we'll set that to 1, I guess. Sometimes with the relax, if you've got stuff like this happens on hands all the time. Hands are the big offender for it. You'll get stuff that overlaps, and you want to correct that because you can't texture two things that are in one spot on the UV map. So this is exactly how it's going to be laid out when we texture it, right? Just think about being able to texture things easily and not having to mess around too much. Get these pretty straight if you can, because then we can just overlay like a texture on there. I'm okay with that hand being like that. Now we'll go element select on this, right? So we can pick that whole element, or we can pick one of these. Okay, so what it's doing when we pick these is it's picking the back foot. Pick that, and that's the bottom half of the front foot, because everything that's just default UV map just is a mess in the middle there. I'm going to pelt this as well. Just go start pelt, tools, relax, polygon 1. That's relaxed into something sort of acceptable. Yeah, that'll do. Now we want the same with this back foot. Yeah, just the same process again. Pretty easy. I can just pick that whole thing actually, and then Alt, drag a box around the arms, or oh sorry, I was picking by element, so that didn't work. Not by element. Alt, drag a box around that, and it gets rid of anything that's on this leg that we don't want. Okay, so again, we've got to clean up the selection a little bit. Unpick the things that are on the bottom half of the hand. I want the fingertips to be one part with that shell. I'm going to pick that fingertip too. You probably can't see this very well, so I'm going to move that. This thumb thing. I don't know if I don't think lizards even have like a true thumb. It's just like some little stupid appendage. I initially modeled this because I didn't use any reference because I was an idiot. I modeled it with like an opposable thumb, and it looked really stupid because it's a lizard. Anyway, we'll pelt that as well. It's just wash and rinse and repeat. Sorry, not wash and whatever. Actually, we'll call it wash and whatever. It's wash and whatever from here on out. Just rotate these guys to be a little bit more usable. I want a bit more straight. There is a way you can straighten UVs, but with stuff that tapers like these claws, it might be a little bit destructive to them. And then we'll just grab the remaining part, and we can probably just best align that guy, to be honest. Planar, best align, like the other stuff. And then we'll rotate a little bit, and we'll relax him. Not everything has to be pelted. Some stuff does, some stuff doesn't. That suits me fine. That's just totally okay. And these are all obviously going by the checker map. The density's a little bit off with these checkers, so we'll just select everything and go rescale elements. Now they're all the same texel density. Okay, so we'll just flatten that because I'm happy with that unwrap of the legs. And then we'll attach them. We'll flip them first. Mirror. Symmetry is probably better because we don't have to go back and symmetry modifier. Okay, so right now it's flipping in the right direction on the right axis, but it's using the wrong side. So just hit flip and it'll pick the right angle. So you can mirror it in any direction, but X is what we want, and we want it to be flipped from the default. And we want to attach these arms back onto this body, and then go back into the UV modifier, and we can sort of start arranging this setup. Well, first of all, the arms are way higher than the body, so we'll just rescale the elements again, which throws it way off, of course. We'll just move these around a little bit. Now, because we've got such long, thin parts, we might actually go into options preferences and set the render height to 512, so it's like double the vertical height that it is the horizontal. Now, these are stretched, and we know that they're stretched exactly, we know that they're stretched exactly 2 times too big in the y-axis. So what we'll do is, with the freeform gizmo on, right? Oh damn. We'll move this guy so that this crosshair is sitting on this little line here. This isn't perfect, but it's an organic thing, so it doesn't really matter. And what we're going to do is we're going to shift drag this top little thing down until the top line is on that 0 line that we put the crosshair on. So now we know it's pretty much in half. We've scaled it down by a half in the vertical. So now we'll just keep scaling it so that it will actually fit into our UV space. That looks about right to me. No, still too big. Okay. Let's say that. Okay, cool. Now we will arrange these arms. Oh, I didn't pick both of them. So remember, when you mirror things, there's two of them, and if you go select by element, it will start to move just one off the top of the other. Yeah, unless you weld them together, then they'll move together no matter what you do. So we're just going to arrange these. This isn't going to be packed too well, to be honest. This is going to be pretty atrociously packed, actually, because just the dimensions of this lizard is so long and thin that there's no real way to do it very efficiently. But what we will do is we'll scale these feet up a fair bit. Not too much. That's a little bit too much. Scale it down a bit more. Okay. Just because I don't mind giving them a little bit of extra room, because they're sort of fiddly little detailed parts. And the other thing I'll do is I'll grab this guy's head with element off, and then I'll turn on the I'll grab it maybe from here, and we'll turn on the soft select, which is this thing that looks like a fried egg. We'll turn that up. I'll set it to UV. That's the, it can either go by X, Y, or UV. Actually, we'll go vertex select, because then you can see the effect of the soft select. So we'll turn it down a little bit. And what this will do, any operation you do on these selected things, it will affect these. It's like weighting, sort of. So we're gonna scale this up, and if you have the freeform gizmo and you hold Alt, it'll scale it from the center. So we're gonna scale the head up a little bit, and it will just sort of smoothly scale down everything around it to make room. We're just gonna scale the head up a bit because it's just gonna have some more detail than the rest of it. We'll do the same here. We'll scale all. There's edge distance, I think we want to turn on. Nah, that's already on. I just had selected stuff over here which I didn't want. So we'll just scale up the body a little bit as well. I'll give it a bit more fall off on that guy. So just scaling up the body a bit more, because the tail honestly doesn't need that much res. It's because it's so thin and small. Anyway, that'll do. That'll do for our UV. We can render this template, say 1024 high by 512 wide. Go solid here. No show overlaps. Seam edges off. That's just my preferences. You can set up the display of it however you want. So we've got a decent UV map happening there. We will save that out, and we'll save this guy out as like lizard.bmp, I guess, and then we can apply the that UV map to the lizard by just like we find him in there and just drag and drop it onto there. So oops, turn off the edge faces, and we can see that the actual texture is the thing giving it the edges there. We've got a UV map lizard, and we can theoretically texture that guy and do whatever. Anyway, that's a UV map lizard. Pretty underwhelming, but whatever. Later.